Welcome back to episode 2 of building Maul Shadow Lord in Lego. Hope you liked last week's episode. Let's get straight into what I'm going to be building.
A quick little sketch to start off this video. This is the second mock in the series called Lawson's Apartment, based mainly off the 5th and 6th episodes. It's going to be about a 20 by 20 spaced mock with a ton of detail, a ton of interior detail, which I haven't done a lot of, so I'm looking forward to having a go at that.
Okay, so you've seen the final showcase of this mock in the previous cinematic, and overall I just wanted to go through some of the basic techniques that I used for this mock. I started off with a 20 by 20 base, so the border is about 20 by 20, and I began with the greebling detail at the bases of both sides. I just did it on two of the sides because that's the only sides that you're really going to see. I then added a layer of tiles on top of that and extended it by about a brick and a half because that border is 2 studs deep. I then tackled the big issue of this curved wall. Now, this includes techniques such as hose pipes, panels, a very interesting technique which hopefully I'll be able to show you right now if I can take the build apart. But basically, this section in the middle here is made out of tiles and hinge plates which connect at the back, and those 1 by 2, what look by 1 by 2 bricks are actually the modified 1 by 2 bricks, which with studs on their sides, and they have hinge bricks on the back. So yeah, that's how they connect in at that angle and make that cool kind of cupboard technique. Outside of that, I've obviously got panels here, which you can see basically right next to the macaroni piece. I've tried to be pretty much as accurate as possible. I took screenshots of Lawson's apartment from the show, so that's why there's techniques such as the 4 kind of iron bars. I don't fully know what they are, but they're all really accurate. Any kind of detail you see on the mock is pretty accurate to the build. I've got the table with the pizza and the yellow kettle. I've got Lawson over here yelling at his son to run away, and then Riley, of course, standing there. I'll show you the minifigures in detail after I've gone through the showcase. I also head over here and I'll add a few extra details. So it starts off with the blue milk. Everyone keeps saying it's the R2D2 and C3PO, which I kind of agree it is now. So maybe I change that Easter egg to the latter. But besides that, I've got a noodle box with chopsticks. I can't find the official chopstick piece. I have a few of them because I bought them off of Lego's like Pick a Brick, but I can't find them. They're a very hard piece to keep track of. I've also got Riley Lawson's helmet and kind of, I don't know what sporting equipment it is. It looks a bit like lacrosse. I'm not fully sure, but I've got that kind of racket over there. I just used a sausage piece with 1x1 hollow studs, and then this newer like 45-degree bar and stud, and then the old antenna piece. I think it works out pretty well as a racket, and it scales pretty decently. Some other Easter eggs, I've got these containers over here with the toolbars, and then I've got some cups of calf, as Two Boots and Lawson would say. I've also got some details on the side here. Again, these bars and control panels are all quite accurate to where they are in the building. And then I've got the area of the mock which I worked on last, which includes this kind of bookshelf, like I'm guessing maybe it's the cooking books or something like that at the top there, and then some basic wall techniques just with the 45 degree, or not 45 degree, sorry, perpendicular 90 degree 2x2 modified plate. I've also got a kind of water meter there. I think that's what it is. Could be water or gas. And that's just got some interesting techniques with bars going in at every angle. I've also got a kind of, what's it called? Entrance kind of cupboard, or like table there, where he's got the little brown clip there represents the bowl that Lawson puts his keys in. I've got a mirror or kind of painting, whatever you want it to be, and some tools on the side there, and then kind of the kind of key part of the mock, or the interesting part, is Marek cutting through the door. Now I decided to keep the door closed and do the scene of him kind of breaking through the door, and I'm happy with that decision, because I was initially going to make the mock have like lightsaber cuts throughout the floor with like little translucent red pieces showing on the floor, and I will be using that mock later in the series. However, I decided it wasn't super necessary in this mock, and I wanted to save that technique for later on, because I'd already done some cooler techniques in this mock. And yes, as you saw there, as I was showing the door, that the backside of the mock is pretty messy. This side is not too bad. These were the kind of 2x2 modified plates that I'm talking about that go at 90-degree angles. The backside here is not too bad, but when I move it over to this section, it gets a little bit worse. Now, as I said, I will try and take out that little section of the wall so you can see the technique that I'm talking about. Here is the little sub-assembly now taken out of the mock. Pretty simple, I guess, when you look at it like this, but it was a little bit complicated to come up with. It's got those snot bricks which attach to the hinges on the outside, and then the kind of interesting part of the technique is this 2x2 tile with half studs and half tiles, and so that just slots in between the gaps that the hinges make between those 2x2 kind of brick sections. And so that just allows for a bend, and it kind of allows for an outlining of the cupboard, and that'll slot straight into the wall section here. So yeah, that was probably my favourite technique that I used for this build. Now, all I've got time for this week is to show you the minifigures. Next up are the two Lawson minifigures, starting off with Riley. Pretty basic in his design. He's gone for the kind of Star Wars jacket that I've used from the new Cassian Andor from last year's U-Wing set, and then just the Harry Potter hairpiece. Basic face from some Star Wars figures, and then the mid-legs in tan. I did think these characters, two of the characters deserved mid-legs, or even three in fact, because they're all quite a bit shorter. I think there is a difference in height, and I think it needed to be represented. Then Lawson over here is using some legs that I think I've got from the Professor Sprout minifig, and then the torso from Star-Lord. I think the Advent Calendar version of Star-Lord from a couple of years ago. The face, I'm not sure. Someone asked me where they were from, and I cannot remember, so sorry about that. And then a basic dark brown hairpiece. Next is a special reveal for two new characters for the mock series. Now, they're quite important. It's Master Ducky and Devon. I had to make these minifigures the best I possibly could, obviously with no official parts, and I can't really get access to many customs where I live. So I'll start us off with Master Darky. As you can see here, he uses the centaur face from the Harry Potter minifig series, or not minifig series, sorry, just the sets. And overall, I'm pretty happy with him. He's also got the Rocket Raccoon torso piece, and I made a custom staff, and I tried to make medium-sized legs there in dark brown, but I don't believe Lego makes those in dark brown. But overall, pretty happy with the character. I wasn't able to kind of make his alien-shaped head because there's no molded pieces that I have or any that Lego makes that really fit that design. And the second minifigure is obviously Devon, who I did my best. Lego barely makes any pink-faced characters. I even Googled it, did a bit of research, and there's only about 2 or 3. So I had to do the next best thing, and I went for a light blue character. Obviously, I don't have the Twi'lek kind of ears, I think that's what they're called, on the top of their head in blue. But I did think it was better than the green because I have the Harrison Dula minifigure from a couple years ago. But I think this is the best compromise I can do. You're just going to have to kind of accept it because it's the best I can do. If you guys have any suggestions, I'd love to hear it. But outside of that, thanks for watching. Let me know what you think of these custom minifigures and the mock, and I'll see you in the next episode.
Just quickly before the video ends, I wanted to say thank you to Lieutenant Waxer26 for a bit of help with my custom 2 Boots minifigure. Now I presume this design is a little bit based off mine and a bit modified, but I decided to use the leg design that he came up with, the brown boots. So thank you to that, and go check out his channel. See you in the next video.